I was with my friend today, and her and I both were married to the safe men and to very, very, very financially successful men that were really kind-hearted, would do anything for us. Again, the safe person that society like would consider cream of the crop. We were married to them, and we both made the decision to leave. And we could have stayed. We could have been cushy, never had to work again. Could have been married. Could have had kids. And her and I were there today, and we were able to plug in our phones into the Bluetooth and play the music. And her and I are fully like doing a leg workout. We are jamming to Lil Wayne, Drake, Nicki Minaj, all the good stuff.
You do know that dancing with your best friend and still staying married was still an option. Like, you could have done all of that in your living room without wasting somebody else's time.
Wow, we're here. Like, we are on the other side. We dreamt of this. This is why we left. And
Your dream was to be happy bouncing around with Bluetooth music? I don't understand. But maybe further videos would help explain it. Don't worry, they really don't.
it made no sense to anybody. And it was so hard. It was so heartbreaking. Like, we literally had to go through hell and back, but we are back.
You know, it's weird to frame it that you had to go through hell and back after saying that you left basically what was essentially the perfect guy. That sounds like you had maybe 80 to 90% of what you wanted, but you then go on to explain that you were missing maybe 10%.
I think a lot of people who have judgment for divorced people, especially people who are married to the nice, safe guy, they don't understand until they are married.
You know, in viewing actually the comments that were in the video that I originally started with, you can actually see the people that do understand. And those are the men that basically got left for just being a good guy.
I'm so grateful for the experience. Like, if I had to do everything all over again, I would, just to be right here.
That's truly fascinating as well. If you could do everything all over again, I would definitely waste this other person's time to make sure I find myself in a potentially better place, now looking for men just like him, minimum.
Something I wish I would have known at the age of 22 instead of 29 that I think would have saved me so much heartbreak and prevented me from hurting so many people in my 20s is if I knew that a great guy does not mean it is your guy. And I say this because now that I'm dating again after my divorce like 2.5 years ago, I feel like my standard now is that the bare minimum is that they're a great guy.
Again, that's an inconsistent thought. You're looking to, if you could, replicate everything you've done and still hurt someone in the process, because then you would grow from that process. That's crazy work.
Line for you. It does not mean that just because he can check off the list of the cream of the crop, whatever, like the on paper list that we either openly talk about or it's this unsaid thing. We all kind of know what the standard is. They have a good job. They're honest. They treat you well. Things flow. You don't get anxiety with them. Like, all of those things, you're attracted to them.
You know, there's this very fascinating trope that goes, women will leave men that cover 80 to 90% of what they're looking for and still search for the additional 10%, while men will have only 10% of what they're looking for and stay. Interesting.
They don't activate your nervous system. Like, that stuff is also valid. But if I had to say my friends don't activate my nervous system, I would be lying.
Have you at any point in time considering marrying maybe your best friend that's currently a female? Because you keep referring back to your female best friends as the ones that activate your nervous system and get you thinking.
Completely healthy. I think you should have a nice little dose of being scared to lose them.
Again, this is fascinating because it took you 2.5 years based on your other videos to actually get to the current point that you're at. So you did have a fear in there. Perhaps the fear was misfounded originally? Speculating.
And my friends and I who have left our marriages, and again, I'm not pro-divorce. I am just absolutely pro not abandoning yourself.
Again, that's always an option. You could have stayed married to a man that covered 80 to 90% of what you wanted and not abandon yourself. That was a self-deciding thing. So you are pro-divorce and pro-abandonment if it suits you. Another thing that actually popped up in my mind was, who exactly did the divorce first? Was it you or your best friend? Or were you guys both talking about having like the perfect man, but you actually just want to have the single life? I am curious about that.
Like, he was so nice. He enabled the bad parts of me.
It's almost like you want somebody toxic because you don't want somebody that calms your nervous system. Maybe because you never experienced being in a situation where your nervous system was always an anxiety level.
And that's why I think my biggest advice is marry your best friend. Because if you're having more fun and you feel more present with your friends, or you're finding yourself calling your friends and wanting to tell your friends things.
I completely agree with you. You should marry your best friend. You should as well, though, because I don't think you are looking for a best friend. You're looking for someone to complete a full 100% of what you're looking for. What you're doing is putting all of the responsibility on someone else to fulfill you. And that is not what the other person's job is that you're married to. They can be your best friend, but they cannot be everything for you.
So I've been going on a lot of dates lately, and
I am curious, now that you're going on a lot of dates, are you also telling these men your previous experience when you were married and why you left him? Because I think that's a very interesting thing to actually tell them up front, especially considering you're stating this.
And I'm dating with intention. I don't really want to go on dates with somebody who doesn't have the same intentions as me, which is to get married.
Now, this is also going to be an inconsistent thought. You're dating with the intention of being married, but then you state this.
I was looking for a friend. I was looking for a husband and not a friend, and that's probably one of the greatest tips of advice I have.
Again, this is an inconsistent thought. This is all within like a 20-second time lapse. You went from I'm dating with intention to be married to stating I'm looking for someone to be my best friend. That makes no sense. And again, are you telling these men that?
And all the relationships I personally look up to, they all do that. Even when they have kids, they are constantly trying to date each other. They're working on themselves as individuals, on their relationship, and I definitely want to do that.
Again, this was completely an option previously when you were married to a guy that fulfilled 80% of what you wanted. Listen, I hope you find exactly what you're looking for, but I hope guys also come across your video and understand who you are. That if for any reason you fall short of that 100% and you come down to 80, brother, you are screwed because you just wasted 5 years of your life and she'll just reset. Because I truly can't imagine a man that maybe is like in his 30s, finally, ready to move forward, settle down, have kids, get married, only to find out that there's someone out there that wants basically for them to fulfill everything in their lives. I truly am glad I'm not dating, but I definitely will be giving my son advice on who he's dating to date with intention and really ask some deeper level questions. Because if that's what's out there, man, that's crazy. Listen, and I don't want like the manosphere to kind of be commenting down on the bottom like, oh, this is why you shouldn't get married. It's quite the opposite. You should get married. It's fantastic. I love being married to my wife, but ask the right questions. God bless. Have a great day.